See both teams mix up the tempo. Look out, Purdy is... Whoa, what is he doing? What is Brock Purdy doing? Touchdown TCU. Kendrick Van Zandt. The question will be, was he down?
So here's the pressure from the field, obviously unaccounted for, untouched, and he is not down, and that is backward. So that forward part doesn't even matter. It didn't hit the ground. No, that is it.
Purdy sprints out of the pocket, sets, steps up, in trouble. And knocked down, ball loose, ball picked up. Jalen Redmond, don't meet me there, beat me there, touchdown, Oklahoma, 42 yards. Huge mistake from Brock Purdy. He's trying to tuck this ball, and it gets knocked out by Key Lawrence, number 12. There's Redmond for the pickup.
They go empty here. Nearing 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Purdy's pass batted in the air. Purdy bats it forward, and it's intercepted by Goodrich. Inside the 10, Goodrich into the end zone. Touchdown.
Can't get to the quarterback. Shut the rush down. Get your hands up. Excellent job there by Maskell. And Brock Purdy, if he's going to bat that ball, he's got to bat it to the ground. He's got to spike that thing like a volleyball player.
Purdy to throw, pumps, steps up, takes off, gets the first down, and he fumbles the ball. He jumps on it. Back at the 37-yard line. That's short of the marker.
Short of the line to gain first down.
Wow, they turn it over on downs because Purdy lost the ball.
And how about the effort here by Goodrich? Wow. Goodrich comes in with his right hand, the old peanut punch, knocking it loose.
Somebody should send that to Trey Lance and just be like, this is the guy that they ended up going with over you.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll be back. I'm going to go break my other leg.
Not tolerate this Brock Purdy slander. Also, Dabo Sweeney was not dancing last night.
No, and it was wonderful.
It's
been a bad weekend for Tigers from Death Valley. Just putting that out there.
This is true. I don't know why I'm wearing orange, but yeah.
I don't know why I'm wearing blue. I guess it's because I'm a hetero male and I don't pay attention to what my wardrobe looks like.
I support you.
We saw what was under your notebook prior to recording. Easy now, Jim.
That's my little book of secrets. And if we get more than 10 concurrent viewers, I'll show the people what we're talking about.
So maybe like 3 years from now.
Yeah.
We're good there.
The episodes do okay during the week, but during the live stream, we get like...
That's like most
Or during the NFL draft that gets taken down.
Hey, they stayed up while we were live, and we actually had decent viewership when we were live doing those, so it worked out all right. I tried to find a workaround to put the episodes back up later, and they kept taking them back down. Every time they wouldn't give us strikes or anything, they would just take it down. It's like, nope, sorry, you can't do that. Well, I tried.
All right. Well, next year we'll be streaming exclusively on Rumble if you want to catch all of that.
I guess I could set us up a Rumble just for the draft coverage.
They should at least give us that last episode of the draft when Magoo and I were 4 hours in. We're like, well, they just drafted a guy out of South Dakota State that we have no idea who he is or what.
Who gives a shit? None of this matters. None of these guys are even going to make the 53-man roster. They'll be lucky to find a practice squad.
We decided to cut it short and not even hang around for the 7th round. It was just 6 rounds is good enough.
Yeah, we did what we had to do. Well, guys.
Here we
are.
Football's
in less than, 48 hours?
I mean, if you watched college football over the weekend, you've already gotten started.
Are we? You said we were going to recap college and then preview or make our predictions for pros. Since Buck is here, do we want to do the predictions first?
Yeah.
Buck said, "Do the predictions that way he can bounce whenever we start."
That's
talking
right.
about
Well, that's
the
like
college.
we're gonna. So Magoo starts talking about college football. We're gonna be like an hour in, and we haven't even mentioned.
Not this week. This week is very short and sweet. Everybody played cupcakes. There was only one game that was interesting. Dion ruined it. Next week.
I don't want to talk
I'm
about
already on to
Deion
week 2.
Sanders. I hate Deion Sanders. I hope he fails. That's all I got.
And that is your college recap. All right, on to the NFL.
Justin, anything to add?
Yeah, everybody played cupcakes. It's the reason you play cupcakes is so you've got a half to figure out what you're doing wrong, and then in the second half do it right and beat the shit out of them. Louisville, I saw somebody that had Louisville in their top 25. It's like Louisville struggled with Georgia Tech. I know they ended up like pulling it out at the end, but they pulled it out by the skin of their teeth. Like Louisville is not a good team. The rest, like everything else I watched was SEC games, and like every SEC team did what you expect an SEC team to do in opening weekend.
Yeah, except for
They
LSU.
except for LSU and Florida. Like they came
Whoa,
out.
whoa.
Florida was
I watched that one. I watched that one.
Florida was expected.
Florida did exactly what they were supposed to do.
I guess
Get
that's
played so badly that ESPN said, Spectrum customers, we're going to save you the battle. You don't want to watch this. So I was a Spectrum customer, and literally they have the whole pregame going, and it's like, all right, man, let's get ready for the kickoff. And the camera starts panning around, and then it just goes black. And I'm like, some drunk guy pulled the plug on this thing. So I waited 20 minutes until it finally flashed a screen that was like, Disney is full of globo homo corporate assholes that wants to charge you more money than we think that you should have to pay. So all ABC, Disney, ESPN, Fox, or FX, and all the shit I watch, it's like, we're no longer going to bring that to you because Disney's full of Satan worshipers. And I was like, based, but I kind of still want to watch the game. So now what? And then I find out that Florida just absolutely, they acted like nobody was watching. And couldn't be happy.
I did watch that LSU game, Florida State, I think LSU. If CD McCray, if Carolina watches this this show, sorry.
Yeah,
I know you're excited about that, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I watched.
I was on the LSU bandwagon coming into the season too, but I should never trust Brian Kelly. I don't know why I do that.
I was less surprised by how badly LSU played and more surprised by how well Florida State played. Like
really
I didn't expect LSU to be great by any stretch of the imagination, but I didn't think Florida State would manhandle them like that. Like I thought it would lean more towards LSU just because I didn't think Florida State was going to play that good, more than I thought LSU would be that bad or that good. So yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah,
well, I think
Florida State, if Clemson looks bad, Florida State wins the ACC with an undefeated or record or even one loss, they could be in the playoff.
Yeah, but didn't they lose to Florida State last year? Or did they?
Yeah, on the extra point that was missed or blocked.
Yeah, and I think LSU will be able to get right back to where they were last year if they realize that their backup quarterback is the best quarterback that they can put on the field. It was made wildly apparent to me in the SEC championship. We were beating the crap out of them, and then they put in their backup. Maybe our team was already mailing it in. I don't know. But he threw like 3 or 4 touchdowns. And I was like, why wasn't this the guy the whole time? And I don't know his name. I just know that Daniels is the guy that is their starter. And I'm like,
he's been in college for 6-7 years.
He's LSU's Bryce Young. He's teeny tiny. He's made out of toothpicks. And they should put the backup who's like 215 and has a laser rocket arm. But, it's cool. Just as long as Alabama doesn't make it to the SEC championship, I don't care who does.
All right, then. So that was our college recap.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all I got, too. I watched, aside from that Louisville game, I watched exclusively SEC, and it was all like chalk, what you expected from SEC Week 1 games. So
I watched Michigan from the same couch as Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Not quite, but I would pay money to watch one of these games just sitting next to Harbaugh while he's suspended.
So that he can be shirtless with khakis
Well, that
on, just
sounds
trying
kinda
on his
gay,
receiver gloves and doing. a little-
There's other people. Never mind. Just continue. Let's
He'll
go.
invite you up to his treehouse and you can hang out and have Slim Jims or whatever. Yeah, no, go Big Blue.
So the AFC East.
Oh, there we go.
Jumping right in. AFC East.
I don't know why I mentioned them first, but if we wanted
Because
to-
talking about the game that's going on Thursday would be too on the nose.
That will be an interesting one, though. Are you guys aware of the updates with the Chiefs players?
Mr. Kelsey.
Kelsey's
one-
out. Obviously, Jones is out. But, it's still the Chiefs and it's still the Lions. I mean that, and no offense, Mark. Someone might still say it's still the Raiders. I understand that. But until the Lions are super awesome and the Chiefs screw up on a regular basis like the Chargers do, for all those people that want to pick the Chargers to do great every single year,
Chargers are still the Chargers.
they're still they still Charger. That I'm gonna watch. I can't wait. I can't wait to kick off. I'll be at work, but I'll be rooting for the Lions. I just can't imagine the Chiefs losing on an opening night in Kansas City. Jay Forte, what's going to be good is I think the Chargers are playing. Let me think. Miami. Miami's one of those teams I keep hearing. Like I listen to Raider stuff all day, and they're like Miami. I don't quite get it, but boy, it'd be nice if they beat the Chargers. But anyway, sorry. Back to the first game. If we want to be on the nose, as we do so.
Or speaking of the NFC or AFC East,
Yeah.
You have everyone's looking down to see who's in the.
Well, I'm
NFC
trying to pull up
East
the
right now.
schedule. I'm trying to pull up the schedule of week 1.
Are we gonna?
This is how prepared we are coming.
Are we
into it.
gonna predict our winners of each league, or are we just going straight to games?
Ooh, what do you want to do, Mark?
This is your baby. We're just here for you.
Yeah,
I thought you wanted to pick the winners of each division.
let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm down.
AFC East. Just fixated on that.
Oh, let's see. Well,
Just with no preparation, by the way. Let me think about this.
yeah, I mean, the Bills have been the favorite the last 3 years. Ever since Brady left New England, the Jets are on the rise. The Dolphins feel like they
Are the Jets on the rise? I mean, they got Dalvin Cook and they got Aaron Rodgers in the twilight of his career. Are they on the rise, or are they just like bringing in guys who had a really good run a couple years ago, but now we don't know what they actually bring to the table? Like the Bills are still probably the best team in that division. And it's probably not even close. Like unless Tua like magically doesn't have brain problems anymore,
It's not him.
probably going to be the Bills.
Well, the reason why I say the Jets are on the rise is not because of how good they're going to be this year. It's for how bad they've been the last 10 years. And I think they're going to be less bad than what they have been. And an aging in his twilight Aaron Rodgers is still better than Flacco or Zach Wilson. So in all positions that matter, they've gotten better or they've gotten more depth. They haven't.
I like
any
Garrett
key.
Wilson. I like Breece Hall. Their defense is pretty good up front. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to be. I mean, he's not going to be peak Aaron Rodgers, but he's going to be a good quarterback. To your point, better than Zach Wilson or Flacco. Their offensive line is the biggest question mark, but I am with Justin. I think Buffalo wins the division. I think the Jets finish second. Patriots last, and Miami will be third.
I'm the same, except switch the Jets and Miami. I think Miami, they're already coming into the season riddled with injuries. We know Tua's brain is made out of over easy eggs, and it's not going to go well for him. I don't even know who their backup quarterback is, but whoever it is isn't going to be good enough to make up for that. Waddle got injured last year. All the running backs are injured this year. I just don't have any faith that Miami can stay healthy. They seem like the most fragile team out of the East as far as just health-wise goes. So I think that it'll go Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots. And there's at least going to be one good team that gets screwed in this division, because I do think that their top three are good enough to be playoff teams, but the NFC or the AFC South exists, and somebody's got to make it from there. So,
Well, I have recency bias. I've been watching Hard Knocks, and that gets me fired up for every Hard Knocks team every year. I there was a moment where I liked the Browns. There was a moment where, knock on wood, if you're with me, I had faith in the Raiders and John Gruden. And maybe I still would, but a lot of weird outside things.
Was Hard Knocks there when Antonio Brown was doing the whole helmet fiasco?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. When he came to practice in a hot air balloon, then burn his feet.
Every 2 years, right before the season starts, something bizarre happens in Raider Nation. We can get to that. It happened today too. But I'm going with Jets, Bills, Patriots, Dolphins.
Dolphins last.
Yes.
Dude, their players are made out of glass. It's like watching Unbreakable 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, the whole fucking series. They're making more fragile movies than there are Fast and the Furious movies. Everybody down there is just broken.
Yeah.
I just don't know what Mac Jones is for the Patriots. They actually have an offensive coordinator now, which is good. But the fact that they had a QB battle with Jones and Zappy, and then they cut Zappy after Jones wins the battle, like, I don't know what that means.
And then they immediately brought Zappy back. They were like, "We're just not
Did
going
they bring Zappy back? And they brought
go on our practice squad.
Corral back. Yeah. Or not back, but they brought in Corral. Matt Corral? Coral or Corral? I don't even know how to say his name.
Coral.
Carol?
I don't know. I say Corral.
Justin, what was your order?
Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Pats. Although I do think it's the return of Zeke Elliott this year.
Oh. Ewok running loose up there. Now you talk about a player that his best days are behind him.
But I think Zeke will have a semi-resurgent year. I think he'll have a decent year for where he is career-wise. That Belichick always seems to get the most out of those twilight years for skill position players.
Yeah.
So I think Zeke will have a decent year, and they'll probably have at least a competent offense. But I don't know that team is any better than last place in that division, even if they do take some positive steps in the right direction this year. And, the only way I see the bottom of that flipping is if Tua's brain completely melts down, and then they're left with Mike White or whoever the other guy, like
Skylar Thompson started the playoff game last year.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Never mind.
This is your brain.
Miami will
this is
be
your
fine.
brain as a Dolphins quarterback.
I feel like my prediction was risky, but this is fun. So.
I do think that the Jets. So I have the Jets finishing second. I think that'll be good enough for a wild card for them. So I think we'll see the Jets in the playoff.
That Monday Night Football game, I think it's on 9/11. Yeah, Jets and Buffalo. That's gonna be good.
Oh,
Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs is always good television. So
better than fucking Cousins. Jeez.
What? Geez, that's a different subject, Magoo. What did you say?
I know you're in Georgia, but good God.
Yeah. That's a whole different podcast.
Oh yeah, I did say those words.
Yeah,
together.
It took me a second.
You need a word in
different show.
You need another word in the middle.
Early season form.
That's the after show.
It is, yeah. That's Mark Claire's his smoky room. Yeah. If you want to talk about something like that,
yeah, you got to pay extra for the cousin.
Join Patreon, and then
you got to pay
on the after show.
Hey guys, I get it. You got to pay extra for the fucking cousins. I mean,
yeah.
I'm there.
That's your OnlyFans. With an M.
Whew,
See what I did there, Jay Forte?
that was good. That was good.
So
All
anyway,
right, let's
how
go to
about
the boring AFC South.
Oh, this
We
one's
got-
brutal. This
we
one's
got
brutal.
Colts, Texans, Titans, and who's the fourth? team?
Jaguars.
Jaguars.
We have one winning team
Team.
and 3 losing teams. Is anyone not going to pick the Jags to win?
Oh,
this?
it's the Jags for me.
Yeah.
Justin.
He's gonna pick the Colts.
Oh my goodness gracious!
No, he's
No.
he's about to pick Tennessee. He likes him some Derrick Henry.
I do too.
I mean, I do too.
I love him.
I do too. I do. I think, and I think Will Levis is built for that offense. He needs a strong running game to be successful, and that's what that offense is built for. But I don't know if it's this year. But I mean, it's almost got to be this year. Like Henry's legs can only hold up for 300 carries a year for so long before he finally gives out. So maybe it's got to be this year. I don't know. I have trouble buying the Jags as the best in that division, even though they're probably the best in that division. I'm not going to make the mistake of thinking that the Colts are going to pull magic out of their ass after the catastrophe that was Matt Ryan last year and that offense just completely falling apart.
The owner.
Yeah. I won't rehash the whole bounce pass situation. But
you also got to pay extra for bounce pass talk.
yeah, I think I'm going to go Titans, Jags, Colts, Texans.
I have Travis Etienne. I'm in 3 fantasy leagues. I have him in every single league. So I have a lot of stock in the Jags.
Mark has a
this year.
vested interest here.
I do think Lawrence already made the next step towards the end of last year. I think he continues to progress. And they add Calvin Ridley. I think he'll bounce or he'll kind of go back to his old form pretty quickly. So I got the Jags. And then I do have Tennessee second, Indianapolis third, and CJ Stroud and the Texans fourth.
I'll
I think for Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson, I was not a fan of his during the whole draft thing, but I think that he has 1,000 rushing yards and maybe 900 passing yards in a really weird year, but maybe
Shout
not
out
quite
Matt Erickson.
that,
Shout out Matt Erickson.
but there it is.
Yeah, I'm. To me, this one seems pretty easy. It's like Jags are a mile ahead of everybody else, and not only just by what they did last year and all the players they retained. They're a young team, so they're just adding to that, and they got a good coach. All the players that need to be good, they have good ones, and they're in the right places, and they've only added to it. There is a secret weapon that not many people are talking about. It's a rookie running back that's coming in that is going to be the Jamal Williams to Travis Etienne.
Look, don't tell me this, man.
Yep. Tank Bigsby is going to be their goal line thumper that is going to just be surprising people the first 4 games before they know who the fuck is that kid. Oh, he was out of Auburn when Auburn was dog shit.
That's that Auburn kid that was the lone bright spot on that team. That just
good enough to start on any SEC team, went under the radar because Auburn was so embarrassingly bad. And he's now on the Jaguars. Etienne is not the run you over guy. Tank Bigsby has hands and can run through you. Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, who is it? Evan Ingram, they're tight end. To me, they're stacked compared to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Where I don't know what they are, other than I can't pronounce the tight end's name. Wide receivers go there to die. They don't have a quarterback I can trust. What is known about Tennessee's defense? Who is their star player on defense? Do they even have one? And then the Texans, of course, they're got to be bad. I mean, shit, they had the first 2 picks in the draft, but I still think they're going to be better than Indy. That'll be my only surprise to this. I think it goes Jags, Titans, and then a long separation to Texans, and then at the bottom,
got
probably
Indy last.
picking first overall next year, unless the Cardinals have anything to say about it. The Colts. I think the Colts are the only other intentional dumpster fire of a team at this point. Like, it's almost like they're actively trying to ruin the talent that they had 3 years ago by just being insane.
I'm with Magoo. That was the same order I have. I wanted CJ Stroud to look good, so I've been actually watching the Texans preseason. Not super impressed. But yeah, I have Jags, Titans, Houston, Colts.
The reason I think Richardson might be serviceable is basically all Shane Steichen. I think that he can do with Richardson a little bit what he did with Hurts, especially in the QB run game.
I think that's a good comparison, but Hurts, if I remember correctly, didn't have like a breakout rookie year. Like, he wasn't day one come in.
Saying I love you, man.
Yeah. And I think the same thing's going to happen with Richardson, because the difference is Hurts played a shitload of college ball. He played, I think, all 4 years, or maybe even longer, because it was in the COVID era. He played at 2 different schools, won the Heisman at Oklahoma. Anthony Richardson is nowhere near Hurts, in my opinion. Talented, sure, but is he capable of transitioning or transferring that talent to on-the-field results? I haven't seen it. And yeah, I know Florida is terrible, and he probably had a shitty supporting cast, but the Colts aren't much better, like juxtaposed in the NFL. They are the Florida of NFL. They should be better than they are, but they're worse than they're worse than I'm told they're supposed to be. And I think Richardson is in the same spot professionally as he was in college, with a dog shit team around him, and he's not going to be able to do anything in the NFL out of the gate. He's going to have a terrible rookie year. He's might get 1,000 rushing yards only because he has to. Because if he doesn't, he'll become Tua.
Yeah.
I think they're a bad year.
The thing with the running back and Jim Irsay is a massive screw up, in my opinion. And I saw this every year. The Athletic puts out their survey of agents, and boy, they were brutal on Jim Irsay and not Jonathan Taylor. So I think that whole thing, if you want a rookie to be good, you need Jonathan Taylor. That'd be extremely helpful. And I think that would be
helpful.
A massive screw up. I thought we were done talking about college, and then Justin gives the Heisman arm to his kid. Right on live.
Father of the year over here.
Yeah. But yeah, there's the AFC South for us.
That's the AFC. Someone was asking me the other day what the receiver Pittman's first name was for Indianapolis. To your point, Magoo, about his supporting cast, and I insisted that it was Billy Pittman.
Oh shit! Oh, Billy.
The person asking me was like, "It's
Michael.
A black dude. His name isn't Billy."
Michael Pittman, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is Michael.
It is Michael.
Hey, Mikey, just run far.
Where did I get Billy Pittman?
I don't know your mind.
Was there not? Okay, I thought maybe there used to be a player named Billy Pittman. Moving on to the AFC North.
This is a good one.
Yeah,
this is a good one.
So the team that won it last year, since he won it last year, and there wasn't really a lot of competition because the Ravens were riddled with injuries. Lamar was out for 5 games, I think, if not more. And the Steelers are up and coming, new quarterback, new receivers. Like they've had to overhaul after the Roethlisberger era. And the Browns, well, they're the fucking Browns. So it was Cincy's for the taking. And not only did they take it, they tried to kill people using their stadium on multiple occasions. And they were almost effective. I'll just go ahead and say it. I think Cincy still wins it this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens or Steelers surprisingly came up and made a lot of noise. I can see the Ravens winning it, but I don't know. This one's one of the tougher ones to call because there's so many unknowns. I'm just going to stick with Cincy because they've done it the last couple of years, and until you prove it to me, I'm not that brave to go out on a limb. And I don't have an order because fuck, it could be Steelers, Ravens, Browns. It could be Browns.
You have
Ravens,
to have an order.
Steelers.
You gotta have an order. We all know it's gonna vary.
All right. Cincy.
Go look at those show notes.
they're all in. They're all in here. Cincy, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland.
Once again, I'm right on track with Magoo. Same. Cincy. How can you not pick them? Baltimore, until that quarterback can stay healthy for an entire season.
Yeah.
Since he's got it in Pitt, I don't know. Although I have to say they look pretty good in preseason, better than I imagined. And then Cleveland, I don't have faith in that quarterbacks anymore. So
no, like Tennessee, where that's the place that receivers go to die. Cleveland is where quarterbacks either never get off the ground or they just implode.
Yeah.
This is all you need to know about the AFC North. The Ravens are believed to be the first team in NFL history to have an all African-American quarterback room, from players to coaches. Assistant coach Kerry Dixon, quarterbacks Tyler Huntley, Lamar Jackson, Josh Johnson, and quarterbacks coach T. Martin. That's going to carry them to the top. I'm kidding. I'm going with...
Like I said, Cincy.
And Burrow's going to keep them all down. Wait, say what?
I do think that's actually a decent quarterback room, though. Like, T. Martin is...
He was a Raider.
He was highly underrated as a quarterback and has been a very good quarterbacks coach. He's spent a lot of time in college and has worked with some very good programs. Like, I think T. Martin is actually a really good coach. But I mean, yeah, it's going to depend on, can Lamar Jackson actually stay healthy for an entire season, and I don't have any faith in that.
I mean, T. Martin accomplished more at Tennessee than Peyton Manning ever did.
Did he really?
If that's the same guy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he was a Raider at one. He was our third stringer after Tuiasa Sopo.
Yeah, he won the Natty in '98, right after Peyton left. Peyton never won a Natty.
He did not win the Heisman either.
No, Peyton was a loser in college. God, what a...
Well, he lost it to Charles Woodson. I mean, that was close.
This is why I brought it up, because Tennessee fans were very upset that Chuck won that over.
Yeah.
Peyton.
Mm-hmm. And the one of the Raiders, Charles's last time to play Manning in both of their careers was I at that game? I can't remember. But he had never intercepted Manning, and he intercepted him twice in that game. It was just, I still remember it. Yeah, beautiful. Sorry to diverge.
No, I'll indulge you in your Chuck fandom.
Yeah, I love it.
Is Baltimore unanimous not winning it? Or
okay, so wait, what was your order, Justin?
Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Browns.
Same as me with myself.
I, for some reason, over the last couple of weeks, have almost taken at least one step onto the Pittsburgh bandwagon. And I almost was going to pick them over Cincinnati if it was clear that Burrow was going to miss some time. But I can't. It looks like Burrow's playing week 1. So I'm going to go Bengals. Then Pittsburgh. I think Pickett makes a jump in his second year. I like his weapons. Even George Pickens. Magoo.
As you should.
Third, I will go. That tweet is ingrained in my mind. Third will be Cleveland, and fourth will be Baltimore. Moving on.
Damn.
All right.
I just can't pick Cleveland better than last in that. After watching the
I wasn't going to,
as soon as Deshaun Watson took the helm, that team completely fell off. Like, they were actually doing good last year, and then he came in, took the starting quarterback job, and they went right into the fucking ground. It's like after the first 2 or 3 weeks and seeing how badly he's playing and how not terrible they had been playing before that, somebody in the front office got to be like, maybe we wait and give him a full season next year and see how the rest of this one plays out. We're not doing bad. Do we really? Are we really so committed to Deshaun Watson that we're going to just wreck the rest of our season that was not going terribly? I don't know. It just didn't make any damn sense.
It's
I'm a
lot of money.
firm believer that there's something to a team's look that maybe won't help them play better, but it can definitely make you play worse. And I think that there's something to be said about how shitty the Browns look, like just uniform. That the NFL does not want that in the Super Bowl. They'll never allow it. You can't sell shit with just like brown helmet. Like,
All right. So we're representing the AFC. I like it.
yeah. So it's
It's going to be Raiders Cowboys.
there's something about the look. Like I said, it's not going to get you in, but it can keep you out. And well, that's why the Falcons have sucked for so goddamn long. They look like shit. But the Browns are literal shit. They're non-inspiring. They don't look fast
Because they're brown.
They're
That's
boring. It's just the last time they were good was before you could tell what the uniforms looked like on TV because everything was in black and white.
Yeah.
There's a
Brown.
ever since color came to the masses, Browns have just they had that one time with Bernie Kosar or whatever in the Broncos. I don't know, and you couldn't even tell who was who because it was a muddy ass game. I don't know. I'm just saying, get a new gimmick. They suck. They look like shit, literally.
Someone needs to clip that segment right there and advertise it for each show. That was brilliant.
No brown cousins allowed in his OnlyFans.
Yes, only fams.
No poo play, man. I'm just saying.
No. Yeah.
Not
No
doing
scat backs.
All right, Buck, remind us which teams are in the AFC West.
Oh, the best ones. Jeez.
Damn.
I can remind you with my pick for the order.
There we go.
Not being a fanboy, maybe a little bit. KC, how can you not pick them to win? I wish they wouldn't, but how can you not? Las Vegas Raiders, number 2. Something's happening right now with Chandler Jones. We just, after all his insane social media, they weren't tweets, they were Instagram stories this morning. He has unfollowed the Raiders, Josh Jacobs, Max Crosby, blah, 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 all the way down the line, which unfortunately, as idiotic as it is, that's how you tell what's really going on behind the scenes these
It
days.
is a big news day when unfollowing.
Yeah. And the Raiders restructured Jimmy G's contract to free up $17 million today after all of that. Bosa, I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's Aaron Donald. Someone's coming in. Chandler Jones is leaving, and it will be on the D-line to pair up with Max Crosby. So, KC, Raiders, LA Chargers, number 3. I love that QB. I hate to say it, but he's great. But they always charge her out somehow, some way. They charge her. And then Denver, everyone's saying, of course, as they should, Sean Payton's a great coach. So Russell Wilson will turn around. But I think Jerry Jeudy's gone down. They just signed another wide receiver. I think it was one of ours. I can't remember. But I still sense trouble in Bronco land. So KC, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos. And we play the Broncos week 1 in Denver.
Nice.
And I wholly suspect that people will be surprised. It's an even game, I suppose. Broncos are by 3 on the Vegas stat line, which means they just have the home field. I bet you we surprise some people. Josh Jacobs is back. Josh Jacobs is 7-0 against the Broncos.
Damn.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Sean Payton told Russell Wilson to stop kissing babies and acting like he's running for political office. So it sounds like the romance between Peyton and Wilson isn't real great right now. So I got them in 4th. I don't trust. I like Sean Payton as a coach, but I don't trust Wilson anymore.
Same.
Or
Yeah.
or the injuries to Judy and Javonte Williams is coming back from a pretty serious injury as well. 3rd, I do have the Chargers. I think their coach is an idiot.
Yeah.
I love Herbert. I like the weapons he has. Eckler's getting up there in age. He's kind of pissed at the front office too. So I have them 3rd. I have the Raiders 2nd. Buck. I think that year 2 in McDaniel's system will be beneficial for the entire offense. I think Garoppolo is a good holdover until he gets injured and they sign Brady for the last 8 weeks of the season.
You didn't see the new Brady in the preseason, AOC?
I saw it. I'll take AOC too.
Yeah.
I like Devontae. I like Jacobs. I think Renfro, yeah. So I'm going with them second, and then Casey. I don't think I need to add anything there first.
Boy, wouldn't it be something if we get Chris Jones out of this mess?
That's what I was going to ask. I'm like, that sounds like it would be the coup of the year.
It's Chris Jones and Bosa and a guy named I'm going to sound like an idiot to the people watching. I don't follow a lot of NFC teams, but I think there's a guy named Burns or something on the
Brian Burns from Carolina. He's holding out with them now.
Okay, all the Raider fans are like, we just freed up all this money. Chandler Jones went nuts. He's unfollowed everyone. Something's about to happen. It's Jones, Bosa, or Burns coming in. So we'll see.
Please take Mr. Burns because they are on our week 1 schedule. And I would love to not play him so that all of our running attack can just trounce all over the Panthers. So I hope for you, Buck, that you guys get Brian Burns.
Okay, so he's a badass.
Yeah, he's good. There's a reason why he's holding out. Shitty players don't hold out, and he's taking it up to the 11th hour.
Okay.
And if you get him, you will be better. Then again, any of those 3 players that we mentioned, if you get any one of those, you're better.
Yeah.
I will say this. I'm not yet on the Raider train, Raider Nation. I'm not there yet with them. They are a team that I have to see it to believe it.
I don't blame you.
Only because I have seen them and they've made me believe otherwise, so I can't put them there yet. I think it goes without saying the Chiefs, number 1, and then I have the Chargers, Raiders, and then Broncos. I think the Broncos, I think a lot of people are fooled with Sean Payton, thinking he is a better coach than he is. Here's the thing. Most of the coaches that are in the Hall of Fame didn't have shitty 4-12 season after season after season. And the reason for that is typically they had other Hall of Fame players playing on their teams. It's pretty easy to be a good coach when you got Hall of Famers taking the snap for 9 years out of your 10 or 11 when you're in New Orleans. Look at his record when he didn't have Breeze. And then let me know if he's still a good coach. He may be. I don't know. Pretty sure he was a coordinator, not too long before that, wasn't accomplishing much in New Orleans before Breeze got there. So Russell Wilson at this stage in his career is no Breeze in 2008 or whenever he got to New Orleans. And I think he just sucks as a person. I don't think he's relatable. I don't think players like him. I think he tries to be more intimidating than he should be because he doesn't look intimidating. I think he's a dick. I think he's a fucking asshole. I will never get over him giving the choke sign on the sideline against the Falcons. We had some of the dirtiest He is the reason why I can't tolerate Saints fans. All through the 80s and 90s, Saints fans never bothered me. They weren't yelling hoot at. They weren't being all fucking rude as shit. Katrina comes in, cleans up the city. Sean Payton comes in and gives them all a reason to start talking shit. They made an entire region of the country way too proud. And I fucking resent him for that. And I hope he goes to Denver to just crash and burn in a mountainside. And I think he's well on his way. So, fuck Denver.
He's still talking about his 4th place team.
Because of Sean Payton. I don't give a fuck about their players. I hope Sean Payton drives that franchise straight into the fucking center of the earth.
Me too.
There.
So you had KC winning it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chargers in second. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And the Raiders moving up a spot, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
everything's going in the right direction. Everything's starting to it's starting to figure itself out. It's finding its equilibrium. I'm telling you, all the Broncos players are going to be broken by the end of the year because Sean Payton is a fucking tyrant.
Justin, you gonna follow up on this?
I thought I was going to, and I gotta collect myself. Jim has a lot of like almost irrational hatred for Sean Payton. It's impressive.
Yeah.
Although the Katrina cleaning the city was gold.
That was amazing. I'm definitely clipping that.
Golden line.
We're using that as week 2 promos. So
George Bush is based. Sorry, continue.
One of Kanye's funniest moments.
So the no-brainer, I've got Kansas City number 1 in the division. I've actually taking the Broncos number 2. Last year I thought that Russell Wilson was going to be the second coming of Peyton Manning for the Broncos. That I thought they had a decent enough defense and enough serviceable weapons that with the right offensive scheme, Russell Wilson could be good and could take that team to the next level. And instead, the coaching was holy fuck bad. There were a bunch of those Broncos games that were on Thursday Night Football, and you're just watching the game going, is this for real a professional coaching staff? What the fuck is going on here? So I don't think Russ is what he was in Seattle, but I don't think he is as bad as what he looked last year either. I think there's a chance that with Peyton and a decent offensive scheme, Cortland Sutton isn't bad. He's a very good receiver. Jerry Jeudy, once he's only going to be out for 3 or 4 weeks. Once he's back, he's a very good receiver that just he's on the cusp of taking a step forward. The same with that backfield, between Pirine and Williams, they have decent backs that can do what a Sean Payton scheme wants to do. So, they've got the right pieces in place to be okay. And in that division, I think I'm not on the Raiders bandwagon just yet. We'll see what comes of the drama this week and how that shakes out. And by next week, I may be flipping my number 2 in 3 spots, but I think it's Denver number 2, the Raiders number 3, and that Chargers team, like Buck says all the time, the Chargers are going to do Chargers things. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Eckler, that entire offense is they're almost as fragile as the Dolphins. They're just at any moment that entire skill position set on the offense could just completely fall apart and all end up on the injured list. So I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Chargers. Justin Herbert's a very good quarterback, but he still does some of the dumbass things that you would expect from a first or a second year quarterback, and he should be past that point. He'll still do some of those really dumbass things. I just don't have a lot of faith in the Chargers to not be at the bottom of that division.
I hope you're wrong, because I got a lot of fantasy equity in
The Chargers.
Quentin Johnston. Yeah, I need him to blow the fuck up.
Well, you need Mike Williams to get injured first, and then
Nope. Need Mike Williams to. Well, actually, I got.
you have him too.
I'm in too many leagues. I got a Chargers player in all of my teams. I'm biased. I'm biased.
I do too. I have a vested interest in the Chargers being good, and I just have absolutely no faith in it.
All right, AFC Championship matchup and winner.
Ooh,
I'm gonna go ahead and say it won't be the Chiefs.
I got a fun one too. Yeah, I agree.
I think it will be.
I feel like Buck and I might be on the same wavelength here. But
I think it will be this year what it kind of should have been last year, and that's the Bengals and the Bills in the AFC Championship game to settle this grudge match once and for all.
And it's going to come down to a DeMar Hamlin touchdown or an interception return for a touchdown that decides.
If it does, I will never watch.
Except James
again.
Cook stiffs arm, or no, he's on the same team. So no, Mixon thinks that DeMar is his girlfriend, punches him square in the chest. He drops dead, and Mixon goes in for the game-winning touchdown. The crowd goes wild because it's in Cincy, and ticker tape parade all the way to wherever the fuck the Super Bowl is being played. There.
Wow. So you have the Bills.
Yeah.
All right.
I have the Bills losing in the NFC Championship game because they do things in
fours.
fours.
Yeah, losing. Okay. So
Yeah.
They do. Yeah, the Bills do things
Mixon.
in fours.
Yeah.
They still need to lose at least one more heartbreaking, why am I still a fan of this team level fucking disappointment. They've only done 2 or 3 since they've been playoff eligible. and they're still due for another one. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have Kansas City returning to the AFC Championship game, where they will be playing the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ooh.
Close.
And just to be cute, I got the Jags making it to the Super Bowl.
That's adorable.
I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
I have Jacksonville also in the AFC Championship versus Cincy.
Mm-hmm.
Cincy winning.
Okay. I like it.
Justin?
We got Cincy, Jacksonville.
It's funny that Jim said that because I was also thinking it's going to be the Bills and the Bengals showdown. I don't think it'll be a DeMar Hamlin interception, but I do think it will be I do think the Bills pull it out this year. I think this is their year I think that'll be an absolute slugfest. It will probably be the best football game of the year, and it will deliver on what that game that was cut short should have delivered last year.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because that was stacking up to be a good game.
That's right.
Like,
yeah.
The Bills were not playing bad. The Bengals hit a big run and were really starting to roll. And it was looking like this was going to be like a slugfest of a game. And then the whole thing happened, and they just ended it. And we had a game for the ages stolen from us, I felt like, in that one. And I think this year the AFC Championship gives us that, and we get to see the Bills come out and finally pull together everything that they've been building around Josh Allen and this team.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be funny if talking about DeMar Hamlin started getting you strikes? That's when you know something.
DeMar Hamlin did not steal the election or something.
Yeah. He was there on J6.
Yeah.
Well, we did the interesting side of the equation. Now we just have to wrap it out with the.
Real quick though, am I the only one that's not impressed with Buffalo's receiving core? Like, you got Stephon Diggs, and then is it Gabe Davis supposed to be?
Gabe Davis runs go routes all game long, and he catch
like if I'm just stacking it up
4
team to team, I like Cincy's receiving core far better, and running back. And I'm a James Cook fan. I think that Buffalo can get a little too one-dimensional offense wise, and I don't think that's going to work. I don't know. I see the Jets offense similar to the Bills offense. You got one deep guy, you got a good quarterback, got a few weapons close by. That's about it. But Cincy can tear you up at all levels of the field. I don't know. I'm not sold on the Bills yet. There. I just had to be a woman to get the last word in.
NFC East.
Okay.
We got Cowboys, Philly, Washington, Redskins, and
Giants.
I think Magoo and me are going to, for sure, I know his love for Georgia of the North.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Philly's winning this thing. Not even going to be close. Dallas is worse this year than they were last year, and that's saying something because when they suck, they suck. The Giants are slightly better. They have receivers whose names I actually know, and the Redskins are going to be the worst in that division. So
you just listed my order.
I'm going to go Philly, Giants, Cowboys, Skins.
Oh, you got Cowboys second, but
yeah, I do. I do not like the Cowboys, but I still live here and I hear about them a lot. I hate Zeke Elliott and he's gone. Sorry, I'm starting to get a Magoo promo here.
Yeah, no, I love it. Talking about the players you hate that aren't even on the squad. I fucking live for that shit. Yes.
Philly, Dallas, Giants, Redskins.
I got Philly also winning. I think the Giants are the team that goes from obviously not first to worst, but playoff to out of the playoffs. So I got Dallas second. And then I'll go Giants third, Redskins fourth. I almost just put the Redskins third, but I then thought of who was even on their team. And
Sam
Right.
Howell
Sam
slinging
Howell.
the rock.
Jahan
Woo!
Dotson, Sam Howell, and Chase
Brutal.
Young.
Yeah.
We'll go Redskins 4th.
Yeah, I'm Philly, Cowboys. I thought the Giants' year last year was a complete fluke. They won games that I wasn't sure why. Like they were winning games early in the season that they shouldn't have really been winning, and I could never figure out the Giants last year. And I think it was one of those things they weren't there yet, and they're not there still. And this year will be the come back down to earth year. So I think it'll be Philly, Cowboys, Giants, and then Washington. Just because what the fuck are
What
they
the hell is even that?
Who do they? I just went through their roster and I didn't recognize a single name.
Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson. They got some players.
What are the odds that
And
Washington
they got Bieniemy from Kansas City.
They do have Bieniemy, but what are the odds that they get a top 10 draft pick after trying the Sam Howell experience for 1 year, and they go, we're going to go with the guy that followed Sam Howell, Drake May, and give him a shot. Just back-to-back North Carolina quarterbacks. I think Drake May probably will be the better pro than Sam Howell will turn out to be.
And we're back to college talk.
They have
I'm
top
sorry.
10.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's possible. I don't know. I think the Skins will be better than they were last year, but that ain't saying much. And no, it doesn't have anything to do with them getting rid of their racist owner. I think he was probably helping them more than hurting them. Actually making people pay attention to that shit-ass team.
Are they going to officially change the name back to Redskins now that he's gone or not?
I hope so.
They won't.
I mean, there's a fan petition going around asking for it.
Yeah.
There are clips, like official NFL clips where they, like old school ones, where they will like blur out the Redskin on the Washington helmet.
Really?
I saw this
They
the
do that
other
with
day.
WWF versus WWE, but they actually lost a lawsuit, so they have to. They didn't.
Oh, is it okay?
Woke them. Oh my god!
Yeah.
And even the old promos when he's like, "You just walked into the brother," and I'm gonna, they like bleep it out completely. But yeah, I mean, I think they're better than they were last year. But again, that's not saying much. I think their offensive coordinator, if you want to say the Chiefs, if you want to give Patrick Mahomes, or if you want to take credit away from Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and put it on the OC, even though Andy Reid basically all that whole thing, I don't think Eric Bieniemy is going to do.
Apparently,
I was kind of joking by saying, but they have Eric Bieniemy.
No. They don't like all the players hate Bieniemy.
Yeah,
well, they think his name's the enemy, so there's some weird confusion in there, and outside of the dad jokes, I think
it's not when you
have well, that's one way to put it. I was going to try to couch it in nicer terms.
My bad,
but fair enough. We can clip that little piece too. Mark goes right for the jugular. I was going to try to skirt around flowery words.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of flowery words, we were talking about coaches that we think are good. And, well, I said my piece about the ones I think are bad. But if I'm going to say anything about a coach that I think actually makes a positive, noticeable difference on a otherwise mediocre team, it is the New York Giants. I think Brian Daboll is a great coach. And all of their success they had last year can be directly attributed to him because they didn't have shit for offensive weapons outside of Saquon. They had nothing, no receivers at all. They got rid of Kadarius Toney, and they were like, "Yeah, you're our best player, and you're toxic or whatever. We would rather have whoever the fuck is like on page 7." They got a kid out of Tennessee, I think Hyatt. And Daniel Jones, fuck me, dude. He turned him into a running quarterback. How the hell does that happen? And a successful one.
Danny Legs.
So I totally agree with you guys. I didn't think much of New York. They were surprising me every game they won last year because I just didn't see it in them. That's the reason why I have them ahead of the Cowboys, because I think the Cowboys got worse, Giants got better, and the Giants have a better coach. And the quarterback's a toss-up.
That's fair.
Speaking of quarterbacks just tossing the ball up, NFC West. I'm about to piss Magoo off.
Oh, here we go.
So I'll piss you off right now. The New Orleans Saints are winning this division.
Yep.
Oh, you mean the NFC South then?
NFC South, my bad.
I knew. I
NFC
was
South.
reading. Yep.
Thank you.
Good
Yes.
job, Mark.
New Orleans Saints are winning the NFC South.
I agree.
You guys
Second place
funny.
team will be the Atlanta Falcons. Third will be the
It's a tough one.
Panthers.
Okay.
And Bucks will be bringing up the bottom of that league with Baker Mayfield and who's the backup?
Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask. Yeah. So I think the Saints just have the best weapons in the league or in the division, not the league. I have typically been a Derek Carr hater, but I think he's the best quarterback in that division.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I think Olave is going to have a good year. Kamara, I think, bounces back if he can stay healthy. I am actually sort of banking on Michael Thomas.
Oh, you poor
playing
man.
the full season. But
Why? You might as well
I got
in that case,
fantasy stock and Michael.
I got some
Thomas.
Tua stock I want to sell you.
Yeah, I got that in the backup. But anyways, I don't trust your quarterback. Is my biggest issue.
Why would you? You've only seen him for 4 games. You've got
Correct,
how many years of Derek Carr doing Derek Carr things?
So maybe Atlanta does have better weapons than New Orleans, but except for the quarterback position.
Let's let Justin and then myself and then we let Magoo. This is his division.
I've been on the fence with New Orleans and Atlanta. I think Alvin Kamara is past his prime. I don't think he returns to the Kamara of 3 years ago. I think Bijan Robinson will be that. And I think that Atlanta will do a good job of giving him the room to do that while sprinkling in other backs because, like Jim talked about whenever the draft was going on, they've already got good backs, and then they added him. I think they'll use those other good backs to keep him fresh and let him absolutely wreak havoc on the field, which is what the Saints did when Kamara was at his best. They used Mark Ingram to just pound the rock and then let Kamara be explosive and just light the field up. That's what Atlanta's going to do with Robinson. I think the quarterback situation is good enough in Atlanta for that division, and I think their defense is going to be fine. New Orleans, I have less confidence in it because I don't think Kamara comes back to his old self, and without a solid run game, I don't think they have the weapons around Carr to move the ball consistently. So I would go Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Bucks.
So far, we all agree with the last place team. I won't change from that. I've got New Orleans. I admit I've got a Derek Carr bias. I actually don't like the coach at all. He drives me nuts, but whatever. New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, Tampa Bay. Not a big fan or have faith in Baker Mayfield, so they come in last.
Right on. Okay. All right. Well, I've been saying it, I don't know, since the draft, or not even since the draft, since we started opening up our pocketbook and realizing, holy shit, there's $200 million in this bitch that we get to spend this year. And what did we do with that? We went out and bought an entire new defense. And then we went over to the best team in the NFC South, the Saints, and we go, hey, I want your defensive coach. And I can't remember if he was defensive coordinator or defensive line coach. Doesn't matter. He was the guy that a lot of people credited to the success of that defense. And it's like, we're going to take our our best coach from our biggest competitor, bring him over here to Atlanta. We got you all of these parts. Oh, and also we also are going to take two of New Orleans' best defensive players, and David Onyemata and Caden Ellis off the D line and the linebackers, because our secondary in Atlanta is going to be right now on paper it's top 3, top 5 in the NFL. Everyone else will learn about it, but we got AJ Terrell on one side. We got either Clark Phillips or Jeff Okudah on the other side. Safeties, we got Jesse Bates. I heard he was supposed to be pretty good from that Cincinnati Bengals team up north. And then we're going to be implementing the New Orleans defensive scheme that made them so great in Atlanta, with Grady Jarrett on one end of the D-line, Calais Campbell in the middle with David Onyemata over here, Lorenzo Carter coming off the edge. You're going to see a completely different defense. And with a running team, that's all you need is your defense to give you a chance. And they're going to give us far more than a chance. I think we'll end up having a top 10, maybe even top 7 defense in the NFL if the players that we start the season with are close to the players we end the season with. Injuries, be damned. Our offense, and so by the way, that was our biggest question mark, was defense. For the last 3 years in a row, the Falcons have won 7 games. We went 7-10 last year, 7-9 the year before that, and 7-9 the year before that.
NFL purgatory.
Correct. And I always look at, is this year's team, whether it's the Giants or Cowboys or any of the teams we talked about, is this year's team better or worse than last year's team? Because if every fan base can say, oh, well, we lost 6 out of our 9 losses were less than a touchdown. Yeah, that's the NFL.
So were a lot of your wins, which they never say.
Correct. Exactly. So I'm not going to use that logic. But what I will say is if we've won 7 games a year, 3 years in a row, and we're better, drastically better today than any of those 3 years, it just stands to reason just by how many wins better are you. I think we're no less than 2 wins better, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're double-digit wins, which I know a lot of people saying, Jim, 10 wins ain't shit. It's everything in the NFC South.
In that division.
Yeah.
That means that you win the division. And so I'm not saying that I don't think the Saints are going to be good. I know the Panthers and Bucks are going to be bad, but I don't give a fuck what the Saints are doing because I know how much better my team is.
All of this was pretty well put, and you sounded professional. And then that last line, you sounded like a little 10-year-old. My team is better.
Yeah. I don't need to pay attention to the Saints. I don't give a fuck what they're doing over there. We got a couple players off your defense. We got your defensive coach. We also got your front office guy that's been picking our players for the last 3 years. It's time for that shit to come to roost now. It's our coach's 3rd year. This is the year where you got to put everything into motion. Otherwise, your job's in jeopardy. So if it ain't going to happen this year, then we're on another 3 to 5 year reset. Ever since we lost the Super Bowl, the whole fucking 28-3 debacle, we've been building to this moment. This is the year where we have the pieces in place. The only question mark, the only reason why everybody in the country isn't choosing the Falcons is because Desmond Ridder only has 4 starts under his belt. And I don't blame you. How the fuck can you make an assessment on 4-start Ridder versus Derek Carr that everybody feels like they've watched for 10, 12 years at this point? They know what they're getting. So they're comfortable with what they know, even though they're willing to suck Anthony Richardson's dick and Bryce Young's, all these rookie quarterbacks. For some reason, Desmond Ridder is like, oh, well, no, he didn't pop last year. It's like, yeah, because Mariota. Anyway, Desmond Ridder's fine. We're not going to ask too much of him. He doesn't have to throw the ball more than 20 yards at a time. We have Kyle Pitts, 1st-round pick.
I do
as
need
a tight end.
Sell me on some Drake London. Here.
We got Drake London, another 1st-round pick on wideout. We got the best running back in the since Saquon in our backfield. We have 3 premier talented role-playing members that all they have to do is just be within 20 yards and Ridder can get him the ball. We also have Cordero Patterson that can still get shit done, and Tyler Algier, who broke a Falcons franchise rushing record as a rookie, and we're a running team. So if Hunt out of Cleveland, if he would have signed with New Orleans, I would probably go with New Orleans. But Hunt is nowhere to be found, and New Orleans' backfield is down to Williams, and that's it because all their other guys are either suspended or hurt, and Olave ain't going to win the games for him because he's just one man, and he only touches the ball, I don't know, 6 to 8 times a game. That ain't going to win you shit. Falcons win the division. They'll probably only win it by 1 game over New Orleans. I don't blame you for picking them like that, but it's going to go fucking Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Bucks. Falcons go to the playoffs, and they lose early, probably the first round, to a team that I already will hate for next year.
I like it.
Beautiful. All right. In FC North.
I was gonna say, does this mean now it's time for me and Mark to butt heads and pick the NFC North?
Yeah.
I think for the first 7, 8 weeks of this show, I was literally beating the Fire Campbell drum every single show.
I remember this.
And all of a sudden, a few weeks later, Campbell might actually be a good coach. I like the Lions.
Campbell's not so bad.
We talked about family reunions and stuff. Like he's got a good strategy for the.
Yeah, I bet you should root for the Lions then. We're a little emotionally unstable up here in Michigan, especially when it comes to our pro team. That being said, the Lions are winning the North.
Yes.
I'm calling it here. Jared Goff puts up a similar season that he had last year, which was pretty good. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a really good wide receiver. I think he makes a jump. I really, really, really high on Jahmyr Gibbs. Ben Johnson's a good OC, and I think he's going to put Gibbs all over the field, as he's basically saying that's what he's going to do. So I think he fits in really well with that offense. Then Montgomery is a good change of pace back for them. Defense is a little iffy, but I think that it'll be enough to win that division. So I got the Lions, and then here's where I get a little crazy, and I picked the Bears to finish second. Because I think Fields has a sort of Hurts-like season this year, where the passing kind of catches up to the rushing. He maybe doesn't rush for as many yards as he did last year, but he increases the passing yards and the passing touchdowns. I'm not going to say anything nice about DJ Moore because he ruined a fantasy team I had last year, but that is an upgrade at receiver for them. I like the Bears. I was not high on the 14-3 Vikings all of last year. Like most of the show was hating on them. So I got them coming in third. I'm not going to make any jokes about Cousins. Although one thing that does scare me about the Vikings is adding Jordan Addison to play opposite Jefferson. It could be pretty scary on offense.
All right, so I'm confused. So they have Addison as a receiver and then Madison as a running back,
and Jefferson as another receiver.
They gotta get that running back and receiver on different teams. This is confusing the fuck out of me.
And then Hawkinson as a tight end. So
Hawkinson, Jefferson, Madison, Addison.
Come on, son.
Yeah.
You know what? Just because of that, I might put them second above the big. And then I'm sorry, Justin, but the Packers are bringing up the bottom of the league. I am not a Jordan Love believer. Aaron Jones, I feel like he's a good running back, but I think he's on that sort of the other side of his peak. Packers have had 25 straight years of Hall of Fame quarterbacking.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's eventually gonna the pendulum's gonna swing pretty badly against their favor.
I'm with Mark. Detroit wins it. I have to go with the offense of the Suns. Minnesota's second, Chicago's third, and I like what Forte said. Daniel Son is the kicker. Chicago's third because I don't quite know about them yet enough. Minnesota's put enough on film and paper, even though Mark alluded to it. I think it was last year that Matt gave us some stat that if you switched one thing, there was something where Minnesota should have been last.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of Matt's crazy stat things that he gets into. Yeah. But I'll still say Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago, Green Bay. They'll be coming up at the bottom. No love for the quarterback, and I think then they'll be in the top position to pick a defensive guy that Justin doesn't know about next year.
Mm-hmm.
It will
right.
either be a random ass middle linebacker or a corner from some
Small school.
NAIA school.
Yeah.
FAU quarterback number 3 off the team. I'll go ahead and go so that Justin can have the last word on his division. I'll make it short and sweet. I appreciate that y'all are picking the Lions to win the division. That's adorable. I hope they do. I actually am a fan of the Lions, especially this year. They've been building something pretty cool. However, they're still the fucking Lions. Like, it's in their DNA to let you down. It's in their DNA to, like, when there's a moment of hope, that's when you should move all your chips to the other side of the table. The Vikings, even though if you just tweak a few things here, none of those things. Yeah, if you do anything other than what actually happened, then something different happens. They were fucking great in the regular season last year. And I don't know if Dalvin Cook not being there is going to make a difference. I think they're better at receiver now that they have Ashley Madison. I think they're better now with that. Sure, why not? Hutchinson, whatever the fuck. The tight end is going to come into his own even more now that he's more familiar and not coming in mid-season. I got the Vikings winning the division, and then the Lions, and then right behind them, the Bears making a resurgence compared to last year. And then the Packers looking up at everybody going, why did we do that to Aaron Rodgers? Why, oh God, why did we take Jordan Love when we still had 2 more MVP seasons left in this guy instead of getting wide receivers and offensive talent? And then the crater of pity and shame and just fucking despair will finally hit Green Bay like it has the rest of the NFL multiple times since Justin has been alive, and he has no idea what he's in for. You have my sympathy.
See, y'all are getting this all wrong.
Okay.
Number 1 is going to be Detroit that wins the division. And I believe in what Cousin Dan's got going on up there. I will definitely give him a huge congratulatory slap on the ass at the next family reunion. Number 2 in the division, because if I have learned anything about my team, it's that if I want them to be really bad, and let's sell out to be shitty so we can get good picks and actually start to build the team in the right direction, they're going to fucking overperform. Jordan Love is going to be serviceable, if not slightly above average. A lot of that young receiving core that was needing to gel and create chemistry last year and never got the opportunity because of all the shit with Rodgers being hurt or being unmotivated or whatever. They're going to find that with Jordan Love this year. I think Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon both have at least one more really good year of like tandem backfield, sock them in the mouth type of running game. And I do think a lot of those obscure additions to the defense are going to shore up some of the shortcomings that they had last year. I think the Packers are going to let me down and finish second in the division and end up with like the 16th pick in the draft or something, like 15. They're going to end up picking like in the early teens and waste it on another fucking cornerback or something. And I'm going to like be offended all the way down to my soul, even though I was a DB and I'm all about the DBs, but God damn it, quit picking them in the first fucking round.
You douchebags.
See, y'all think that they're going to finish last and they're going to end up with a good pick. They're going to overperform and end up picking in the middle of the first round and not do anything with it, because that's the way this team is built. They will always let me down. If I think they're going to do great, they're going to underperform. If I think they're going to be shitty, they're going to overperform, and they're going to fuck me either way. And then I've got the Bears coming in third, because I think while Justin Fields will probably have an incredible year, because Justin Fields will have an incredible year, they will completely waste what should be an amazing backfield with Khalil Herbert and Dante Foreman. Those guys are going to be completely wasted while Fields runs around and gets all the rushing yards and then just slings the ball to whoever, including the defense, half the time. And then I don't have any faith in any of the sons on the Vikings because you've still got the cousin as quarterback, and
well done.
he is about to hit his brick wall.
There it is.
Well done, Justin.
You were a DB in high school?
You've never mentioned that to us.
Try to be humble and not talk about it.
Oh, fair enough.
I too was a douchebag in high school. However,
that is self-evident, man.
Yeah. However, I make it known way too much. I am not humble.
NFC
right.
West.
One left. The
Here we
shittiest division.
The division.
Magoo's might be pretty poor.
Mine's definitely right there with the AFC South as being.
Will anyone catch the Arizona Cardinals? I think we all probably agree that they're the fourth team.
I think we can agree on the first and fourth. I assume.
Have they gotten Kyler Murray out of that cute little tank top yet? That's all.
Have you ever tried to catch a running toddler? No.
This will be a fun one. Does anyone not have Arizona last and Seattle first?
Seattle.
Yeah.
I did not have Seattle first.
Oh.
No.
I have San Fran first.
Okay.
And Seattle is like my New York Giants pick, where they go
overperformed last year.
Playoff I think they're fool's gold. I think that further than that, Geno Smith was retard's gold.
Okay.
I've always used that. I like that term. I've always used fool's gold with the Chargers. They've always been fool's gold. I've used that same exact phrase.
There it is. So yeah, I got the Niners 1. Do I want to take Seattle second? Yes, because then my other choice.
Yes, I think you have.
I have to take Seattle second, but I don't think they'll make the playoffs this year. So only one playoff team out of this division.
Yeah.
And then the Rams will be third. I think the Rams could be like around the 8 and 9 line as long as like Stafford and Cup comes back healthy and Stafford stays healthy.
I've got Seattle, LA, Rams. I think I have a little bit of recency bias because the Raiders practiced and played against LA and San Francisco, so I got to kind of pay attention to what they're doing. Seattle first, LA Rams second, San Francisco third, Arizona easily last. I could see LA and San Fran switching in there, but I'll go out on a limb and say LA second.
So you're not high on San Fran?
No. I watched them. We demolished them in every practice, and that was the non-biased sports writers like, oh my God, the Raiders are like outclassed the Niners. And I was like, we're not that great. So if we're outclassing them, they've got issues. And then that whole thing with Lance happened. I was like, okay, something's going on. They're not good. Lance should have been canned. But yeah, Seattle, LA, San Francisco, Arizona.
I'll go. Yeah, no. To me, this one seems almost like it's predestined, and there'll be 2 to 3 games separation between all these teams. The way I see it, Seattle, San Fran, LA, obviously Arizona. Arizona will be the worst team in the NFL. They're making it widely known that is what they are striving for. Who the fuck trades away their starting quarterback the week before the season starts to get somebody to come in basically the week of, and it's like, here's a playbook. I don't even know the players you're throwing to because we got rid of half of them too. Seattle, I think, just got tremendously better than they were last year. Getting Jackson Smith and Jigba, Zach Charbonnet, Geno Smith. I was not a believer in this time last year, and he made me look like a fool. I will not make that mistake twice. Pete Carroll's a wily old man, and as long as he's there and he's got his offensive pieces in place, that's one of the best receiving cores in the NFC. At least
that's what I was about to say with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, the slot guys they've got. That receiving core is just otherworldly. Like,
not to mention all of the running backs are pass catching backs. Like they're going to be difficult, and I think that they are going to be the 14-win team out of the NFC this year. Like they're going to be in that bracket. San Fran will probably be an 11-win team. Remember, like 3-game differences between these teams, in my opinion. I think 2 teams make it to the playoffs in that division because only one's making it from the South, and only one's making it from the North. So that leaves 2 from the East, 2 from the West.
Ah, shoot. You're right.
And then the Rams are still in free fall collapse, trying to put supports in place to call it a rebuild from their Super Bowl win. They haven't fully gotten the old guys out, and they haven't really begun to get the next generation in, so they're in weird flux. So they'll be like a 500 team. If they have a good year, they'll be a 500 team. And then the Cardinals will just be picking up scraps that anybody leaves out for them. Yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I've got the Seahawks at number 1. I've got the Niners at number 2, just because outside of Kittle and McCaffrey, I don't have a whole lot of faith in any of the weapons that they've got around.
Come on, man. Debo, Ayuk.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you speaking gibberish to me, boy?
It's like use English words, and then we'll revisit this. I don't have any faith in the weapons that they've got outside of McCaffrey and Kittle. The defense is probably going to be good, and I think that'll carry them to. But isn't Bosa like not coming back anytime soon?
Not yet. He might
up in
be
the air.
Las Vegas.
He's.
But they also got Hargrave from Philly. So
I say the last thing that I saw on Bosa is like not expected back anytime in the near future. So
Bosa goes to the Raiders. I'll pick the Raiders to win the Super Bowl. Go ahead. Continue.
So like I've got San Francisco in number 2, but that's a sketchy number 2. And then Rams at number 3, just because the Cardinals are actively trying to be the worst team in the league, and somebody's got to finish ahead of them. So it's probably going to be the Rams. The Rams aren't going to be good for the next 4 years. After what they did, the way they sold out to win that Super Bowl and to build that team, like they completely just sold off their entire future for the next, better part of 8 years, probably. So any Rams fan that has hope this decade is delusional.
One thing that gives me, I thought the Rams were screwed too for a while, but they are like top 5 youngest roster now. So I think that kind of would give Rams fans a little hope, because the last couple of years they've been really, really old. Granted, Stafford is old. Cup is old. Their 2 best players are.
It's their stars. Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald was old, but
yeah.
But I don't think any of those young guys are.
They're not there.
Any good?
Yeah, you got the Rams is 2 players, Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp, and one of them will likely miss half the season this year, and that's Cooper Kupp. Aaron Donald will be fine. Sorry,
I have him in 2 weeks. It's fine.
It's
bad
fine.
move.
It's okay.
Bad
It's
move.
just
Old white guys with hamstring issues that get paid to run.
look. I'm fine.
Far.
I mean, and
He's-
their quarterback is old as
fucked.
shit and on his last legs, and then they brought in a rookie who's also old as shit. So
That's true. He's older than some.
Look,
4-year
if
veterans.
Stetson,
He's
if
older than
Stetson
Lamar
comes
Jackson.
in and Cup
He looked
is healthy, he's
terrible,
throwing it
by the
to
right,
way.
every day.
Stetson been Stetson's my age. Come on.
NFC Championship.
Ooh.
I've already got it picked, so maybe that'll help spur on some creative juices. I have Philly in Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. Battle of the Birds.
I have Philly and San Fran, and the Bucks just bursting my bubble over there when he's talking about San Fran being overrated. But I got the Niners winning that game.
See, I don't think Seattle, or I don't think San Fran, or I'm having a stroke. I don't think Seattle's overrated.
Take a jab.
We'll help them out.
What the fuck? That's good.
I don't think Seattle's overrated, and I don't think San Francisco's underrated. However the fuck that works. I think an 11, 12 win San Francisco team is right where they belong. And I think a team better than that is right where Seattle belongs. I
got San Fran under at 10.
Ooh, yeah, I don't have that.
Let's clip this. Let's clip this for the end of the year.
We got lots of clips to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. This will be the only episode I actually go back and watch throughout the season to be like, what did I say? Do I still?
Why did I say that?
Because I feel pretty good about all my picks except for the AFC North. The AFC North is the only one I don't feel confident in. All the other ones, I'm like 98% there.
I probably got a little hasty in my decision to throw Baltimore at the bottom, but I'm going to keep it.
You're passionate and in the moment. It's fine.
You got your knee on Baltimore's neck, and I'm not going to ask you to lift it. I will keep everybody at bay and say, guys, calm down.
I mean,
March
Lamar's only going to play 8 minutes and 46 seconds left of the season.
Oh, my.
Justin, who are your NFC picks?
NFC Championship game, Justin.
Seahawks, Lions, and Seahawks going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, he took the Lions.
Nice.
He did it. All right. So you have Seattle and
Buffalo.
Seattle, Buffalo.
I got Philly,
San Fran.
I got Philly, Cincy.
I got Philly.
Philly's going to win it.
Same. I got the same picks as Magoo.
Yeah.
Another loss for Burrow. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the Bills' year to finally win something, and then the team gets sold to like Toronto. And
but didn't they just clear like whatever $1 billion stadium project out there in Buffalo? Yeah.
Yes.
Lions are winning on Thursday.
Oh, I hope so. I hope you're right.
That's ballsy.
38 to 34.
Ooh.
If that happens, it will bolster my argument that the Chiefs aren't making it to the AFC Championship game.
I would love that.
Even though it's an NFC team, it's just like, yeah, you immediately remove Kelsey, and it's poof.
Yep. And
it's
Jones.
Oh,
Kelsey and Jones almost won them that Super Bowl together. If you think of those two, it's like we talked about Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
We're going to get together and do a little college preview on Saturday morning.
You guys can talk college right now if you want. I didn't know if y'all were doing that or not.
I mean, we really covered everything. There wasn't a lot to cover with week one. Like
Alabama crushed Texas.
Everything right now, every team that won feels like they're going straight to the playoff, and every team that lost is like fire the whole fucking band, and nothing was gained because it was all mismatches outside of 2 games. Clemson sucks. That's been true for years now, but they're just coping with it. But there's no good competitive matches were had. There were like maybe 3 decent lineup, matchups, and the other 75 games were absolute horrid mismatches.
They instituted 75% of the NFL rule for first downs. Don't stop the clock except for the last 2 minutes of the second and fourth quarter. And really what it did is it created more ads and less football, which sucks.
I got to disagree with Forte. That is not how it always is in week 1 college, because you got to remember the Chick-fil-A kickoff game last year was against Georgia and Oregon, 2 top 10 teams, I believe, at the time. And this year was Georgia, who gives a fuck, Tech versus Louisville. Like, the matchups were shit. Yeah, and Texas beat Food. I mean, way to go. It was dog shit all the way around. I'm happy.
Right. I was thinking Colgate for a second. I was like, why do you eat your toothpaste? No, it was rice. I got you.
I would ask the question, do I look like I eat toothpaste? And then the answer is pretty evident. So kind of is rhetorical at that point.
Talking about Louisville, Georgia Tech. I got into my parents' house Friday evening. Dad had the Louisville Georgia Tech game on. I was like, how the fuck is Louisville losing to Georgia Tech? Like, Georgia Tech is not a good football team. And then by the end of the game, Louisville ended up winning and looking not terrible. But I was like, gosh, if Louisville was doing that bad 3/4 of the way through the game, they are not going to be good this year. And then on Saturday, we watched UK, Ball State, Mississippi State, and Southeast Louisiana, Tech, A&M, State, whatever. And I was like, for the first half of both of those games, I'm like, ugh. UK looks like they're struggling. Mississippi State looks like they're struggling. They started to kind of find rhythm. It was the same with the Ole Miss game. Like it was just unimpressive opening weekend football. Like there was a piece of me that was kind of glad that nobody wanted to talk about college football on Saturday morning, because after watching those games, I was like, none of this was worth talking about anyway.
This dude here is trying to troll me into spurting out about how much I hate Deion Sanders. I may know who your best friend 89 is. I hate Deion Sanders. I hate the whole narrative surround. Like, he manufactures this narrative about how no one believes in him and he's supposed to be trash or whatever. It's not even true. Like, of course, everyone's like down on his first year at Colorado because Colorado was 2-10 last year, and he kicked half of those sorry players off the team.
Who's that kid on Colorado that played like 140 snaps or
Travis
something?
Hunter.
Played on both sides of the,
which that's impressive. Like their game on Saturday was impressive.
Yeah, that used to be called just football in the 80s. People playing
both sides. Yeah,
I remember when a kid in Athens did his Champ Bailey. Like, this isn't like you have to go back to the annals of like black and white only reel-to-reel film to find when somebody played both sides of the ball. Like,
Woodson
it's
a little bit.
Yeah, Woodson did. Hines Ward did. It's rare in the recent past. Like, for college age kids, they've never seen no shit like that, and so they're like, "Oh my god, this guy's crazy." But I'll agree. The reason why I'll dog on Deion is fuck it, I'll say it. He is like a race first athletic personality, where he's like, y'all just don't like when a strong black man comes up here, talks his shit, then backs it up. And it's like, bitch, please. Like, this sport is black, and I'm a fan of it.
No one has an issue with Mike Tomlin.
No,
Right.
Mike Tomlin's been doing this for several years.
Yeah. It's the shit talk. He's gotten away with it because he's been able to back it up. And as long as he can back it up, people give him the runway to talk his shit. I don't think it makes the game better. I think it makes it more entertaining, because I like to watch people get down in the dirt and say dumb things because I'm trash. I mean, it attracts trash. It doesn't attract anything good. It doesn't make the sport better. It makes it so that when you finally do fail, which he likely will next week to Nebraska, he definitely will at least 7 times this year. Everybody that he's picked out is like his enemy, just for going, will this work, Deion? Like, it's never really been done this way. And he's like, you're a hater. The second he stumbles, which he probably will stumble and trip because he only got 8 toes, they will be on his ass and they will be relentless. And then he's going to cry victimhood. He's setting it up so that if he wins, it's all because of him. And if he loses, any negative attention he gets is because they just don't like to see a black man try to work things out. And I fucking hate that. It's victim bullshit. And I wish Andre Rison would have punched him 2 more times in his jaw when he came back to Atlanta. Fuck Deion.
It's just
I do like that
one of your rules are established.
One of your arguments against Deion was that his kind of trash attracts trash like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not saying that's good. It's entertaining. But I don't want that from a coach. I want that from a player. Once they made it in the league and they're driving to the stadium in their Bugatti, not a coach that's out of his prime.
Bugatti.
Yeah. Hey, coach, out of your prime. What are you going to do when 12 goes down and your entire team's identity is gone? Like, you played TCU. And everybody got it all fucked up by going, oh my God, Colorado beat the team that went to the Natty. That's not the team that went to the Natty. In fact, the team from TCU that went to the Natty set a record for how bad you can get your ass kicked in a Natty. And all the good players that got TCU to that Natty to receive that well-deserved ass whooping, they ain't there no more.
No.
So I don't know what the fuck everybody else thought. The fact that they had a 17 in front of their name just means that the people that do rankings are fucking retarded. There, I said
How'd
it
that
again.
450-pound kid look? Could he play 3 downs in a row?
Man, he could put 3 plates down, but I don't know why he was even on the fucking sideline. It was a joke. That's the thing, is like it's too early. So it's all overreaction. Overreaction good, overreaction bad. And Dion's out there just talking his shit, saying, I'm black. I'm bliggity blackity black, bliggity black. Can't say shit to me because I'm black as fuck. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You're going to be mediocre. You're going to be 500 at best this year. And it has nothing to do with your race. It has everything to do with the fact that you don't have a fully developed squad. Fuck. I love college football.
Love it.
All right, boys. Until
It's been
next
fun.
Yeah, been fun. Though, Matt, we miss you.
Mm-hmm. I understand why you're not on. The shit that I just said, I totally get. I wouldn't want to be associated with that either.
In Tho's defense, he does have a relatively fresh child, and
Yeah.
Someone show all the slander I threw Seattle's way, and maybe that will get Matt back on the show.
No, that's true.
Matt
I don't know.
will
I've talked
show
a lot
up
of
to
shit about Anthony Richardson for weeks now, and it's done nothing.
Yeah.
I will try. hard.
I called Geno Smith a retard.
clip all of those things, tag Matt in all of it, and he will come to defend the honor of Anthony Richardson and
Yes.
the Seattle offense.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it again next week. After week 1, I can't wait.
There
Let's
you
do
go.
it.
Then we'll actually have some shit to talk about.
Raiders
Hell
beat
yeah.
Broncos. Raiders will beat the Broncos. See you guys.
I agree.
Yeah. See y'all next Tuesday. Ha! Get it? See you next Tuesday.
Oh,
God.
man.
That's why we're doing shows on Tuesday.